Hi, good morning, everyone. Hello, folks and audience who are going to join us today. Welcome and very warm good evening to all of you who are joining from UAE and Middle East. We are here once again back with all our exciting series from PMI UAE chapter. And we are really proud to have Mr. Ricardo Vargas with us. Hello, doctor. Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome, welcome. We are all great. I hope you are doing well in Portugal. You're in Portugal, I believe, right?
Yes, I'm in Portugal right now. Yeah.
Lovely, good. So yes, we are watching our audience coming and you see the numbers are increasing. We will officially launch somewhere around 7:02 or 7:04. Let the people come in together and then let them have an option to see the full series together that way. So we do this webinar series. I think most of the people must be aware who are joining us repeatedly. And for people who are joining us first time, my name is Anshul and I'm from PMI UAE chapter as a volunteer. And also we are here associated with our event director, Bhavin, and also with the people in the background, Olimed, and also Amir Ali over there. Hi team, thank you for making this all possible for us. Also, we have quite exciting things to share today. The topic for today's webinar would be, as you all know, would be quite exciting one, that how project management, which we all are belonging to, is going to be reshaped by the much about intelligence, right? And that's what we are going to speak about today, discuss about from doctor side. And then this webinar is also something which will bring us to the somewhere around mid of the year. So definitely it's a good milestone for us to really look forward back at what the past 6 months have gone through. And also with me, I am going to start the webinar, I think in a couple of more minutes officially. I think the people are joining here are 100, wow. So that's what we hit the century in the first 2 minutes, wonderful. That was expected, doctor. So it was quite much awaited webinar for us. And let it go higher and higher. That really sounds cool to me as well, 114. So while we are making our fellow colleagues from PMI joining us, some housekeeping notes from this particular webinar. We are keeping this webinar timing somewhere in the range of 1 hour approximately. Before we launch for the topic, I would definitely like to give the agenda. We are going through a very brief introduction of our chapter. And also we will have a short Q&A session as well after the topic, which doctor will suggest with us and will talk to us. And we will try to do our best, whatever we can do in our capacity and capability to answer the questions in the time frame. So please, all of you, as you all know, we always request this, try to post your questions in the Q&A part. Okay, so that it will help us to really organize them cohesively and then bring them together while the Q&A session will start. I would encourage all of you to keep interacting with each other in the chat section. And also, I will give the heads up to doctor once we are reaching to the time, but approximately we'll be able to make it up. So we are at 7:04 officially. So let me start our introduction to our chapter, and then we will go to a topic today, introduction of our speaker as well.
Okay. Yeah. Anshul, before we start, okay. Yeah. Good evening to all of you. This is Bhavin, new events director. I want to welcome you all for this session. This will be a very interesting topic for all of us. And we are in the mid of the year, and it's a better thing to close the mid of the year by a very renowned speaker, which is Mr. Ricardo. And he has given a lot of webinars and a lot of keynotes around the world. And I think so most Dr. Ricardo doesn't require any introduction. He's a self-renowned and famous person in the PMI league. So that's one thing. I congratulate and I open welcome to Mr. Ricardo for giving us the opportunity to present you. Thank you very much in advance.
Thank you.
Okay. I will give my floor to my colleague Anshul. Please, Anshul, go ahead.
Thanks, Bhavin. Thanks a lot for the brief introduction. And so let me share my screen with all of us so that we can have a brief introduction about chapter. So, yeah. Let me make it. Good. So let me start again with the chapter introduction. We are Project Management Institute, and which was founded by 1969 by the group of working project managers. And now, after 50 years later, PMI is a well-renowned organization with no introduction to it. And we really help all the people in different part of the project management for the largest association in the world. A lot of accredited training and certifications with the community experts. Also, we have sponsors and research published, as well as the knowledge content available to all of the members of the PMI. To the chapter part, so we are proud to have been into the top 5 chapters across the world, and the UAE chapter, which has been recently undergone a bit of change. Here is our statement for vision over there. So empowering and influencing all the individual to innovate the project economy principles and turning them into the reality aspect. In terms of mission statement really takes us through towards the vision. So how to disrupt and create value-driven to all our members and partners so that we are more agile, innovative, and productive in the form of product and platform for the growth of project economy. Chapter introduction continues here. So we are all run 100% by all volunteers. As you can see the picture on the right side, I spoke about top 5 chapters. We are proudly over there. We are also ranked in terms of industries, leading industry and trends. We are quite focusing on them, serving the UAE aspiring communities of all PMs and PMI holders in terms of program management, and dependent on all of you to make our chapter activities as interactive as possible. And really, believe me, it is really fun to be the part of the community. The chapter boards. So this is our new board with all the latest faces over there. So starting from our president, Mr. Adil Sultan. To the chapter membership benefits, definitely it's worth having a look at it. So we are having a quite new and exciting benefits in 2023 from the 4 pillars of networking, L&D, knowledge sharing, career growth, and events. We are really doing this series as a part of event series here in terms of diversity in our webinars here. Our silver sponsors, Dubai Properties and Miraz, and our collaboration partners are listed as well over in the slide. Video information. So this particular webinar will serve you the 2 strategic videos. Those will take me about 4 weeks or something to get accredited to your accounts. You don't need to do anything separately for that. If you don't get those videos, please drop us an email on info@pmiuae.org. And then, of course, we are looking forward to have some quite interactive Q&A. Last but not the least, you have a lot of options to get engaged with the chapter and their activities with all our social media channel. And if you can go through the pmiuae.org website, you will see a lot of good content over there. And also please follow us on the LinkedIn as well as the social media as well. Without taking much more time, I would definitely go back to our webinar topic, where we can speak about AI reforming the project management part. Before that, Dr. Ricardo, as Bhavin said, does not require any formal introduction. He is a name in himself. Of course, he has been in this field from past 25 years. Former chairman in PMI. He has been doing a lot of initiatives in terms of management, infrastructure, and humanitarian developmental projects. Keynote speaker, author, you name it, and then he's doing it. Okay, and also he has the broadcasts which he keep on publishing them, and has a big influence on the sector as well because he received a lot of awards and recognition in the industrial engineering as well. So over to you, Doctor. I think we are quite excited and waiting for you back over the.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction. It's really an honor and a privilege for me to be with you today, you know, and to talk about a topic that I would say I am completely embedded in, that it's the topic of artificial intelligence and how it applies to our lives and as project managers. And I want to start by sharing with you some, I would say, some quick warm-up just for you to take an idea. So the first thing, I want you to take a look on these three photos, okay? First, of course, they look, all of them, very beautiful, very, I would say, well done. But none of the three of them, they exist at all. These were 100% AI created. So this was not, and it's different, this was not a Photoshop that you took someone and edited someone to make it thinner, to make it taller. No, you were creating an image of three different human beings from scratch. The second example I want to share with you, and this is an example that can become very disturbing when we see it. And this is a photo of President Obama and the former Chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel, having an ice cream in a beach. This photo does not exist in reality. So this photo is 100% AI. And when I say 100%, let's just analyze that. When I say 100, it means they never took that photo. I'm saying it's not about adding the ice cream on their hands. No, I'm talking about creating something from scratch. Nothing you see in this photo is real. But when you see with your own eyes, they look incredibly real. Let me give you another example. I want to show you this music, okay? Take a look on this music and listen.
Tell the young
This
they
is
can
the
never
music
become what they
from
aspire to. Born in the cell with no one who can
And
inspire
this
you.
music went in, became a huge success on platforms like Spotify and this. What is the tricky here? Is that Jay-Z never recorded this music. Never. This music was 100% created by AI simulating the voice of Jay-Z. Let me give you another example. And this example is this video. Take a look on this video. This video, everything you are seeing was developed from text to video. Nobody draw anything. Nobody draw anything. This surreal video was all produced by generative AI. By these transformers and this. So just to give you an idea. And what I want is, I want to finish this I would say this opening comment by showing you last Tuesday, last Monday better, last Monday. Take a look on this. And you may ask me, Ricardo, but what Apple Vision, this new, I would say, augmented reality / virtual reality device has to do with being a project manager? Generative AI? This is the second wave of what we are seeing today in AI. We are seeing, for example, ChatGPT that we are talking all the time, this kind of photos, images. What Apple brought Monday that completely stunned the world is that Apple brought an application of all these transformers. For example, a transformer that will track the movement of your eyes. It means your eyes will become the mouse. Your eyes will become the mouse. Your hands will become the clicker. This is all using machine learning, neural networks, and transformers. Every time someone talks about transformer, we are talking about generative AI. So, and why I'm saying this is so important, because what we are facing today, and this for me is what is the most important, we are facing a real big shift in what is happening today that will impact not only project management, but it will impact dramatically the society and how we do business. I would be really scary if I was a manufacturer of TVs, monitors, because with this, if this becomes true and if this becomes mainstream, as this became, right, as this, the iPhone became, there's no need to have a TV at home anymore. There's no need to have a monitor in your office anymore. Probably there is no need to have a laptop anymore. So this is so disruptive. And this just confirms two sentences that I want to share with you. The first one is this one. In my lifetime, I have seen two demonstrations of technology that struck me as revolutionary. The first time was in 1980, when I was introduced to graphical interface. And the second one just came last year. This is not Ricardo. I'm not the one saying that. Who said this was Bill Gates on the Gates Notes in March 21st. The second thing I want to share with you, I have said it before, AI is one of the most profound things we are working on as humanity. It's more profound. Look how bold than fire or electricity or any of the other big things we have worked on. And who said this was Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google. And when I saw that, I need to be deeply honest with you. I said, this is such a bold statement that I went to the Davos, the World Economic Forum website, and I downloaded the video. So listen to what he said.
I've said this before, AI is one of the most profound things we are working on humanity, as humanity. It's more profound than fire or electricity or any of the other bigger things we have worked on.
So when we see this, you know, what is our feeling? And I need to tell you my own feeling. Everything about generative AI happened to me in last November. I am, I would say, connected to AI for a long time. For example, I have a paper published on neural networks at the PMI conference in 2015, while nobody was talking even about AI at that time. And then I'm on the board and I'm founder of two venture capital companies that are investing in AI. And the CEO of one of these companies, Eduardo, he called to me from Estonia, from Tallinn, the capital of Estonia. And he said, I was flying to Malaysia to talk in Kuala Lumpur. And he called me and he said, Ricardo, have you seen ChatGPT? And I said, what are you talking about? And he said, did you see what they released? This was, I would say, December 2nd, probably 3rd. And say, no, take a look on this. And he sent me the link. I enter. I was at the airport. I got inside the plane with my head in turbulence. And I said, what is happening? What is happening? You know, this is very different from everything. And then we decided, Antonio and I, to publish a paper. And this paper was, I would say, a turning moment for AI in project management, because we wrote this paper with the best intention to help people to understand what is coming. And this paper became extremely popular. For 9 weeks, it was on the most read list of HBR globally. And why I'm saying this is a big feature, because project management is not a trendy topic on HBR. because it's much more on management, because the disruption we are facing is so dramatic that we don't know how things will evolve. And this is why I want just to give you a taste of what is happening. And this list is changing every single day. So I want just to show, because we did a webinar recently talking about this. There are hundreds of applications every single day. Just today, I subscribe. Let me just get you a number. Just today, I received 32 new apps, information about 32 new apps. It's every single day. Things are disrupting in all sorts of business. Like Apple did this amazing release Monday that if you have not watched that, you must watch. Even if you are not a big fan of Apple, but just watch, sit and try to figure out what is going on. So what I want now, I want just to spend a couple of minutes showing you some of the tools I am already using that are using AI, and I'm using them in a project management context. So let me give you the first example. And the first example is today there are other ones, but I'm using this Umata. Umata is an AI, but it's a different AI. It's an AI that takes any document and scan the document using generative pre-trained transform, or GPT, and get the answers to you, so you don't need, okay, in thesis, everything working, you don't need to read this 100-page document to get into something. And just take a look on this. Let me show you a part of this, and I will explain, because this video I did myself, okay? This is not a promotion. I took the Government Accountability Office of the US, and I downloaded the full report of the James Webb Telescope, Space Telescope. I'm passionate about astronomy, so I did that, and I'm uploading it on Umata. This is a 33 or 37 pages. So this document is being uploaded, and it's analyzing it for me, and then they will open for me in a few seconds the document, but in an AI environment or in a GPT environment. And then look on the left side, I will write what are the main risks of the telescope development that I need to be aware of. What are they that I need to be aware? So look, I haven't read the document. I have no idea what is inside that document. I'm just writing like I'm asking a question to an assistant, and take a look on the answer. It's telling me, and on the top of that, it's also showing me the pages where this reference. This is all the use of AI. So imagine you rolling over a massive documentation of a project. Imagine what you can do if you have access to something like that. And by the way, I forgot to say, Umata is free up to 60 pages. So if you have, and after 60 pages, it's just irrelevant, the amount of money you spend. But take a look on this. So imagine you can take a book, you can take whatever you need, just put it there and say, please summarize it for me. You can put summarize it for me. And then summarize in 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs. So imagine this in your life as a project manager. Imagine when you have all specifications and everything. Let me show you another one. And this is one that I truly like. It's called Motion. And this is exactly to manage tasks and manage team tasks. And this Motion helps you to assign tasks to your teams and they are dynamic tasking. What happens? For example, you put a task and you put a priority on that task. When you do that, it sorts to the team. But if someone didn't do, it will reshuffle your agenda to fit and reprioritize in something like an automatic way. It means it will always tell you, okay, you should do next this, you should do next this, John should do next this, Hebat should do next this. And this is exactly what we can see here. And this is an extremely powerful tool that is changing the way. And look, I'm saying this, but imagine now how scheduling will be. Scheduling can be extremely dynamic because your Gantt chart or your Kanban board, they can be alive, things changing and popping up with no one doing that, because an algorithm is capable of understanding based on your priorities what you should do next, which kind of post-it should you move to execution. So this is a second example I want to share with you. A third example, that this is an ultra polemic and very, very nice example. And it's called HireVue, hirevue.com. And this is a software platform that helps companies to hire professionals. So what they do, you submit your CV, they use AI to analyze your CV and select you for an interview. This, up to this point, it's reasonable and it's okay. This is nothing very new. But what is new? When you go to the interview, there is no one on the other side. There is absolutely no one. You are being interviewed by a machine learning algorithm using AI to understand not only the content of the language you are saying, not only the content of the language you are saying, but also how your face moves. How do you move if you smile, not smile? So imagine the power of this on building teams. This is a fantastic thing. But here comes one of the biggest challenges. I am passionate about this topic. But at the same time, as probably most of you listening to me, it's very scary. And if you're not scared, there's something wrong. Because even for me, when I see that, because, for example, just to give an example of HireVue, the same company, they are being persecuted in the US. Do you know why? Because of bias. Because of eliminating people based on race, based on color of the screen, of the skin, based on the way they say things, and not based on the content they are sharing. And this is all automatic. Why? Because every single AI use previous data to train. For example, if you want an AI to identify a photo of a cat, you need to train and you need to show, look, this is a cat. This is a cat. This is a cat. Until they learn which kind of characteristics a cat will have. So if you say, these are successful people, these are successful people, these are successful people, and you always show a kind of profile, for example, a man with, a tie, and what happens? The machine will always associate this. And when the machine is doing the interview, it will consider that. because it considers, just to give you an idea, HireVue considers 90,000 different aspects of every single candidate. The problem is that we don't know which are these 90,000 aspects. So this is just an example. But if we can sort this out, and if we are able to remove these, I would say, this bias or this negative bias, this could be a game changer on the process of recruiting people, because instead of doing a short list and interviewing 4 people, 5 people, 6 people, I can interview 10,000 people. Because who will analyze the interviews? Is a machine. Machine works 24/7 and works very fast. So these are the things we need to understand. For example, you can do the same for a procurement process. And this is exactly the trends we can see today. Another example I want to give to you, and this is something I want to, in some ways, raise your attention. If you, as a project manager that is listening to me, and you tell me that most of your work is to prepare reports, is to prepare meeting agendas, meeting notes, you should be really concerned, because this kind of work will be disrupted. I'm saying for sure. I'm not saying I think it will be disrupted. And one of the things why, for example, I accepted to be with you, of course, first, I love to be with all of you and share the experience, but I have a responsibility, a moral responsibility to share with everybody, as many people as I can, what is going on. Because, you know, the feeling I have is that there is a tsunami coming, you know, and before the tsunami, the wave of the tsunami destroys everything. I don't know if you know, the sea goes back and expose a lot of land. It's something like a lot of land appear, then the massive wave comes and destroys everything. But this takes a couple of minutes. I don't know if you are aware of that. And there are some tragic photos of the tsunami in 2004 in Asia that shows that when the water goes down, everybody looks and say, this is so magic. Look, the amount of rocks, the soil that appears that I never saw. The beach that used to be 100 meters, it's now 1 kilometer, 2. But you are looking down. You are, I would say, seeing the wonders of AI. And then when you look in the front, there is a 20-meter tall wave ready to engulf you and everybody. And this is a feeling that I want you all to be aware, because we don't know yet what will happen and how things will happen. But these are trends that we see now. So let me show you this video of Gamma that is a new way of creating a web page, creating a document or a presentation. So let me give you an example I did, okay? I did myself. So take a look on this quick video. So I did myself, okay? So I wrote, I want a business case for a project employee training program. And then it created the outline for me already. I say, okay, this is the outline. Then I press the next and it say, okay, what is the theme you want? Oh, I want this theme. And then making some magic. Look, it takes 1 minute. It's not take 1 day. I'm not saying it takes, 1 week. It takes a minute for you to create something. Is it perfect today? No, it's not. But what happens? It brings you from 0 to probably 80% in a minute. instead of you trying to go from 0 to 100 by yourself. So look, it's reviewing the content, chasing the colors, preparing everything, and you will see the amazing, unbelievable slide deck. Look, look at for the colors, the images, everything. And then I press the present button. Take a look on what is ready. I didn't do anything. Let me just remove my screen. I didn't do anything. Take just a look on what you can see. And you may ask me one thing and say, oh, Ricardo, okay, how much is this? It's free. One more time, it's free. You know, it's free. Take a look. I didn't write anything. I just recorded my screen doing this. So, you know, imagine the power these will give to you in a positive way to, I would say, remove your workload. You know, then you have more time to think about something different or to improve, to analyze. Because, for example, I use in my personal life and professional life, ChatGPT and this guy all the time. Just today, just to give you an idea, today it's 4:36 p.m. In where I live in Portugal. I use probably just today, I would say maybe 20 times. But I don't do that without analyzing. What I do, I use these kind of tools to do the heavy lifting work. For example, I throw a lot of ideas and say, please write a text for me. And it writes. Then I remove that text. And then I put on my Word document. And then I go and analyze and rewrite. Sometimes it's very good. Sometimes it's not very good. Then I write again. And I change. I put my style. I put what is important. Then I go back and say, what do you think about what I wrote? And I ask, and then they say, oh, it's good. But if I were you, I would change this paragraph and this. And then I go. So it's someone, imagine, it's an assistant that will help you to do your job. And this is something that I'm doing now today. It's not something that I'm figuring out, you know, and I just recorded because, you know, I'm a risk manager. I don't want to do it live here because if things do not work, I will look bad. But I just recorded. This is my screen. I just recorded this screen to prepare this slide. So this is just to give you an idea. Now, let's dig in a little bit more. Predictor. This was developed by Professor Paul Bolderow in Canada. And this is all about project selection and prioritization. And I work a lot with this. I have, including a workshop called PM Rank that is very famous. And that workshop, one of the key things I say is that you need to have a limited number of criteria to compare projects. For example, you can compare, let's suppose you want to do portfolio management and you need to compare different projects. So you need to understand, okay, what is the cost benefit, risks, and this kind of criteria. But you cannot have 200. Just to give you an idea, Predictor has more than 270 different criteria. And it analyzes and proposes to you the best mix of projects using artificial intelligence. So imagine this. Imagine how powerful a tool like that, instead of analyzing 6, 7, 8 different things, it will analyze pretty much everything you want. And you will compare thousands of projects. Why? Because we have machine power to do that today. And this is one example. Let me give you another example. This example is being used by the government of France. It's called De facto. And this De facto is a dashboard using AI to monitor your portfolio of projects. So in real time, you have insights on every single project in your portfolio. And there is a video I will not show here, but you can find on YouTube from the French president using this to check the status of every single project real time. It's real time. And this is what is incredible. So we are seeing things happening at the same time and suggesting for me forecast on this kind of development. And this is happening now. Another one, and this next week, I will talk with the founder of it. It's called Scope Master. And this is the tool using GPT and Transformer to build WBS charter requirements using AI. You start saying, I need a house. Can you do a first level of my WBS or the second or the third? Instead of you spending 3 weeks doing that, it will take you 10 minutes. Is it perfect? No, but it will give you an extremely powerful draft. Do you remember? I have several books that I wrote on Microsoft project because I was, I would say, the beta tester. So I have a strong connection with Microsoft on that. And do you remember that templates? You go new and you have a template, and there are 20 templates for building a house, for doing a move. For example, when you're moving from one house to another, several. Imagine that now you have infinite templates. You do whatever you want, and it will build on that. And imagine that. It's what happens in most of the AI processes. There is what is called reinforced learning. It means when you do something, it improves. It means over time, it becomes just perfect, absolutely perfect. And this is unbelievable. Imagine for me, many times I struggle to get the scope right. Imagine with a tool like this, the Scope Master. It's a perfect example of this kind of tool. Another one is called Ofolio, that develops your project plan using big data, including using Google Maps, movement, for example. Imagine that you need to transport things from one time to another. You don't need to estimate. It will already tell you if you leave. For example, imagine that you're building your schedule, and then you say, move the pieces from city A, Dubai to Abu Dhabi. And then based on the time you're scheduling, the duration will be changed. So imagine how incredible these things will be. So it's just unbelievable. And on the top of that, I decided to do one thing. I am co-founder of one tool that was released in 2017. That is a chatbot for project management. And now I just want to share with you what you will see next week when it's publicly released. Take a look on the video. So it's all about project management. So it's a chatbot all about, for example, I'm starting a project with Scrum. What do I need to do? Everything, all the public library that exists in project management is there to be trained. So you can do whatever you want in terms of projects. So imagine all my books, all Antonio Nieto's books will be there. So we are building a huge network to really give to the project manager on his or her side a tool to do that. And this is only possible, only because of the technology we are facing now. But I have I would say I have a question, and probably most of you will have the same question. Ricardo, when I see all of this, how do I get ready? What do I do? I would say to be ready for this, and to be more update. And what did you do to get ready? So I want to give you 3 tips that I truly hope that you will leave this with this in your mind. The first one is I truly love this concept, and I repeat this all the time. It's move from fragile to anti-fragile. And this flower you see, it's called dandelion. I'm Brazilian, and in Brazil, when I was young, it was very common that you as a child play with this, because this is such a fragile flower that this flower, it destroys itself very easily. And many people think, what a fragile flower. But it's not. What happens is that together with this flower goes the seeds. Did you see the seeds? Every time you destroy the flower, you are making many seeds to spread out with the wind, with you blowing it. Did you see? And what is anti-fragile? Anti-fragile is something that wins with chaos and disorder. Let me give you a simple example. If I have a glass and it falls, it collapses, right? But then I would say, okay, if this breaks, what I can do, I can find a way of resisting it. What do? I make a glass with stainless steel. So it will collapse and it will not be destroyed. But this is just moving for a negative scenario to a 0. What is anti-fragile? Anti-fragile is someone and some organization that wins with this instability. It's like our dandelion that wins. Every time you destroy this flower, you are creating 1, 2, 3, 4 dozens of new flowers. And this is exactly the concept. And this is the concept of everything. The human being, our muscles, for example, when we go to the gym, everything we do is based on this. Because when you go to do gym, to do weightlifting, what you're doing, you are destroying a little bit your muscle. To tell your body, look, my friend, you need to fix it. You need to make it stronger because, Ricardo is doing a lot of weight otherwise he will not be able to do the job. And this is how your arms grow and you become stronger. This is anti-fragility. If you stay in your bed 24/7, what happens with your muscles? Right? Stay 1 month on the bed. You will stand up and you will not be able even to walk. Because the body will say, why do I need to keep these muscles? He or she is not using it. Did you see that? This is anti-fragility. And anti-fragility happens with 3 conditions. And this is what I want to share with you. The first one, they need the stressor. So don't try to go away and move far away from the stressor, because the stressor is what gives you the flavor of anti-fragility. For example, when you see all these challenges I'm telling on the AI and this, and all this is coming, it stresses. And this could be very bad if you do not act, but could be an incentive, like I had the incentive in December to say, I need to jump on this, because otherwise I may be dead professionally. This is what I did. The second one, anti-fragility means adapt. It means Have you reviewed your work and check how it will be affected and what you can do? And third is learn. Everyone that is anti-fragile, for example, I'm spending a lot of time today learning about this topic. And let me give you some practical tips. I will share with you this slide up, but practical. So homework for us, practical terms. One, when you leave this presentation, rethink your job. How likely it's to be affected by AI and new technology? What are the consequences? And please, if you have not tried ChatGPT, use ChatGPT to discuss that. Tell ChatGPT, I do this. What kind of impact may I have with AI? Rethink your business. What will affect my business? Will this technology affect? For example, if you're a creative writer, if you are a photographer, if you are a video maker, if you are a writer, this could be disruptive for you. If you are a lawyer, this could be very disruptive. So what are the consequences? How do you see that? And commit to use some AI tools at least once a day. Pick one, do whatever. Learn one new AI tool per week, like Killbot for writing, ChatGPT, Dolly for drawing, Beethoven for music, Copypont.ai for internet, Jasper.ai, and a billion other ones. But you need, because when you go closer, you understand better how things are moving. And then you can prepare yourself on understanding what will be the consequences. The second tip is learn to unlearn. And why I have this, and I love this, you need to watch this YouTube video called Smarter Every Day. And he changed a bike by putting this gear changing, and the bike operates in the opposite way. You move here and go there. So it's the opposite. And what he learned, it took him 8 months to learn how to bike this. And the problem was not how to bike, but it was to unlearn what he learned in the past about what a bike is supposed to be. Unlearn what a project was supposed to be. Do I need to think the same way? And this is critical. And how do you do that? I suggest you watch this backwards brain bicycle. This is a 7-minute video. It's a very nice video. There is an author that I truly love called J. Fogg about changing and improving creativity. And he has a free 5-day program in a website called tinyhabits.com for you to unlearn some of your habits. And it's a very nice, I did this many times, when you want to develop a different habit. And exercise creativity. Think out of the box. Do you know most of the time we spend eating the same food, going to the same places, meeting the same friends, right? Do it differently. Look for different experiences in life for you to exercise a different thing. Just to give you an idea, my time is running, but just to give you an idea, I will do a 3-day camp where there is nothing related to religion, but there is only one requirement. You cannot use any electronic device, and you cannot talk for 3 days. And I'm going. Why I'm going? Because I want to break a pattern in my mind that I need to be 100% connected. This is an example. And last but not least, manage fears. Why? Because fear is natural. If you do not have fear, you are a very dangerous person. because fear is what keeps us alive, right? Because, you know, if you don't have fear, you put yourself and you put your organization in such a risk, that you don't know what to do. And in practical terms, what can you do that? First, feel. One thing that I want to share with you, everyone is feeling the same inside, including myself. I wake up every day, I see what is happening. The day I saw the release of this Apple Vision Pro, I was coming from Mexico. I was on the plane. I had downloaded the video. I was watching and I said, what is that? I don't know. I was scared. I was saying, look, if this becomes a reality, wow, this will change everything. This will change everything. Another thing, reduce the use of your social media by 50%. Why? Because most of the social media is just to spread panic, right? Spread this, you know, things are very bad. And practice mindfulness. And what is mindfulness? Is for you to be concentrated in the present moment. You know, trying to understand, try to enjoy the time you are having meal or the time you are going to sleep, you know, and enjoy that present moment. This has nothing to do with religion whatsoever. But this is essential because what is the problem is that we are here, but our mind is never with us. And this creates this paranoid feeling that we have all the time. And develop early warnings. One of the things I do most in AI, I do a lot of research because I want to have early warnings. Remember the tsunami? I want to know that a tsunami is coming, not when I see the wave in front of me, but I want to see that trend. And this is exactly what we need. So some final remarks here. I want just to make two announcements for you to help us on this journey. The first one, it's Antonio and I, we released it yesterday, a global research on AI in project management. Look, this takes you 10 minutes of your time. And it's not for me, it's not for Antonio, it's for us. Because if you help us to understand what is your feeling on this, you will happen. And this is absolutely free. We will do that, that the release of the report. So as soon as we had already something like 200 people in one day. And we have an ambitious target. We want a lot of people. So if you can spare 10 minutes of your time, I promise it will be worth, because it will help and you will see how you see all of this and how the whole planet see that. And then we can combine. And why we are doing this? Because we need to have this feeling fast. The second thing, it's Antonio and I, we are doing a masterclass, probably many of you. So if you want to know, we are talking more about that. And this, it's called PM AI Revolution. So you are more than welcome to join us if this is something you are pursuing. And I want to just end up by really thanking you all. And I'm sorry as a project manager that I'm over time by something like 3 minutes. So these are my contact information. You can follow me on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and I wish you all the best on this journey. Don't be afraid, but get ready. And this is my final message. So thank you very much for having me. And I'm more than happy to take some of the questions.
Thank you, Doctor. Wonderful. I think we are awestruck, actually. A lot of people posting the comments. I was reading about them. Some questions definitely we have. I would like to take those questions for the audience, but yeah, my particular takeaways, what I was thinking through while you were speaking through AI tools. I think we have a question also around that. We all as a project managers or as a professionals, we as a human being, I think we have seen a lot of tsunamis as species. as you are showing in one of your slides, this is another wave. Okay? Then definitely this wave is going to be something big for all of us as a professionals. What we shall be taking it away from your key practical takeaways is, as you said, learning, adaptability, those aspects are very key there. Importantly for all of us, I believe that rather than being afraid about any wave of the change, we need to start embracing those change in terms of understanding that nothing is stable. And we are in the VUCA world today itself, right? And we should not expect the things to remain, as you said yourself, stability. There's nothing called stability in modern times. Everything is unstable. And that is where I think we as a human being has this fear of, as you said, having that inertia within ourselves, that we can really live with something of that sort and for at least for some duration. And that is where I think we all need to take learning from your today's webinar, that what are the things coming through, where it is impacting us, what we can do best about it. And more importantly, I love the last but not the least. Okay, you spoke about social media. That is real a truth, and it's not a myth. Okay, that is really a bitter truth that we are using social media for a lot of different reasons, and one of the reasons you told yourself. But yeah, let me take away some questions, otherwise the audience would not be happy with me there. We have quite a couple of few of the good questions which I have compiled up from the Q&As. Especially there are some combination of questions which I would like to project you through Ali. So Ali is speaking about the different softwares which are being used in project management. You already shown us. Especially one thing coming up on the questions to us is risk management. And Irene also is asking about it. That what are the aspects about AI you are aware about where risk management and projecting or project risk are coming through? What are your thoughts and examples?
Okay, there are many things. First, all types of risk identification processes are using today. For example, remember when you do brainstorming, for example, and then when you get 10 people together, why not using a GPT solution to do that? Like, for example, ChatGPT or like the PMO I said, these are powerful sources for you to get these initial. So for example, I'm using this all the time, to be honest with you, because it speed up. Second, to look for additional information you may have. These you need just to be mindful because, currently generative AI still have some type of hallucination. So sometimes it does not answer the truth for you. But very soon, when you compile these with real-time internet, like Bing is doing now, you will be able to say, tell me what types of risks became a reality in these type of construction projects. And it can compile for you in a second what happened. So these will be extremely applicable in the reality we are facing now. I have no doubt. This will be a key topic. And a third thing, when you do Monte Carlo simulation for quantitative risk analysis, Monte Carlo simulation is one of the key aspects of what machine learning does. That is this recurrent Monte Carlo analysis. So you are doing the same, but with a much bigger amount of data.
Wonderful. I think you hit the nail over there, and that leads me to another question there. When we talk about data, that brings to the very common question you must have answered in all of your keynotes could be, so how do we trust? How do we trust these models, these tools, AIs? Because these all are coming all the times based on what kind of standard and guidelines we are not having at the moment in terms of regulation or the data, what we are feeding to these AI models. They have the biases, ethics. So how to really trust and utilize these tools to an extent in our real profession? Of course, I'm saying to an extent, as you said,
No, this is a great point. What is I want to reinforce is that you should never go to this kind of tool ask something, get the answer, copy the answer, and paste in your report.
Paste it. Yeah.
This is not smart.
Yeah.
What you do, you get that answer. Then you, as a human being, do a critical analysis of that point. Probably, if there is a thing that you are not, go back and look for more information until you are comfortable that you can trust. Because what happens today is that people are very extreme. Some people are so in panic of using that they don't do anything, they don't use. And others, they are so in bed that they just, ChatGPT is answering their emails. And then, bad things happen. So what is important is that you use this to move you from 0 to 80%, 75%. But the last mile is you. Probably, Anshal, with new technologies coming, maybe to bring you up to 90, 95, but you need just to be smart. For example, today I use GPT-4, that is the latest one. It's excellent. It's excellent. It's not good, it's excellent. Is it perfect? No, not at all. But it saves me a lot of time in many things, in many aspects. So this is why I use it. For example, Gamma, it produced the perfect presentation for me. No, but it's an excellent start. Then I just need, this image I need to change, but instead of building everything from scratch. So this is how we need to think. One important thing, we need to understand that most of these technologies are new. Do not, please, I want just to reinforce, do not put confidential information on these open platforms. Why? Because most of them are using your data to train the system, and there is a chance that data may leak. And if you say, but I work with confidential, for example, in my case, confidential information, then I have an API and I use a private server. For example, there is a GPT server from Microsoft that is connected to ChatGPT, but does not share information with them about the real case, but just the codes. So then I'm much more safe on that side on for example, confidentiality, etc. So today, just be mindful. Many times what I do is I have something very confidential. I rewrite it in a completely different way, that I could get the input on ChatGPT without disclosing anything. So imagine that you are building a house, you are not building a house, and then you had the problem with this supplier, and this supplier was a critical one. What would be the possible actions? I'm not telling what is the project, but I'm just looking for insights on how to solve a problem or how to negotiate something. This is a good thing you need to do.
Absolutely correct. So a lot of good insights actually coming through. That I see the tsunami of the questions keep coming while you are answering them, in fact. So I will not be able to take everything because we are at 8 to 9 already, but this one really interests me out. I think it's useful for the audience to know. Of course, there is a section of the organizations, companies, which are really worried. And they're not worried because, as you said, because of the fear, but because of this privacy issue, because of this plagiarism issue, that how their IPs, how their patents will really be secured enough or not getting leaked in terms of process somewhere else, So definitely there is a lot of panic around that in the industry at the moment. When these tools coming through on board and accessible to each one of you free of cost today. Of course, tomorrow they will be commoditized. That's why they're being free today, and just like anything. So what's your thought around it? Having these patents and IPs, what will going to happen to them?
Yeah, wow. Look, I'm not a lawyer, but it is disturbing. Why? Because, for example, today there is a class action in the US from designers, from artists saying that Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and Dolly are using their IPs to generate new images. And then they said, no, we are only using your IP to get inspiration, like any painter does. We are not using anything. But when someone goes in a museum and see that image, she or he can get an inspiration out of that. I'm doing the same. But the problem is that I am a machine. I'm not a human. And these will be big. And I don't know how it will end. But I think that IP and IP laws will need to be revisited soon.
Absolutely. That is what connects the metaverse as well around it. But yeah, thank you so much. I think it was quite insightful, and I think all of the audience must have enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Doctor. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you. Look, thank you all. I wish you all the best, okay? All the best. Stay well. And please take seriously my slides with some tips for you. I will share the slide deck with the chapter, and the chapter will share with you, okay?
Thank you so much, doctors. Thank you so much. I think lovely audience.
Thank you. Thank you very much, okay? All of you, stay well, okay? Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I think, thank you, audience. Thank you so much for being